All right, creating a sense of depth and space. So important for a good mix to have some kind of a sense of distance and place. You know, it all depends on the music. You know, if you're doing craft work or something, you want it right, you know, an inch from your nose. But if you go and listen, and I highly recommend it, go to listen to a guy named Trent Mahler or a guy named Mike Sheridan, you will hear the most expert use of space ever. Just staggering, amazing how great it sounds. What is it? Well, I know what that is, Bill. If you have some tracks, you know, and you want to add some space, you create some effects buses, like here, these sends, and you send those out to reverbs. Well, I don't really do it that way. It's a traditional way to do it. You stick a reverb here, and everywhere you want reverb, you go A. But that's more of a traditional use, which is cool. Say I want just a reverb, a reverb over everybody just to put them in the same room. That's how I would do it. But in electronic music and abstract kinds of styles, which is what I do, there's a different way. So over here is my beginning of my track. This track already has some reverb on it, already has sense of space. But I have an effects track that I have built, and it consists of several different tracks under one group, 2 big reverbs and 2 destroyers. Okay, I'll show you the destroyers next round, but 2 big reverbs. And let's just take a listen to a section without those effects, and then with them. Let's go right up in here somewhere. Okay, and let me put my effects on. Okay, you hear that track? I will play it solo for you. You can see that I have a little piece of audio sitting on big verb and big echo, and it makes all the difference for this transition. Listen without. Okay, so that is what I'm talking about when I say depth. Okay, and let's build one ourselves. I'm going to just that. And basically, what you're going to do is find a place, just open up a track, a couple of tracks. I've got my drums there, and I'm just going to say Command T, new track. And you'll quite simply just start out like I've recommended before on some of these, and drag this into the new track, and there it is. And the technique is simple. You just grab little bits of audio from either the tracks themselves or the beats and stuff that are up ahead. So if I take, just as an example, I'll take any old random piece of audio, right, like this, copy it, and then on my transition into whatever I'm going into right there, I'll just paste that in. Okay, and you heard what it just did. It just... Okay, and in the effects world, little clicks and pops like that don't do well. Okay, and you'll want to work this out. My first hunch on this one is that there's too much low end in that. I like these effects to stand up above it. So I'm going to just take this and cut it. And take this utility off and up the feedback on this wet dry. And this particular one happens to be right there. Okay, and then I add that into my track. Okay, and I can go and get a note out of this bass line and add that same thing in, say right there, and just experiment. Okay, and you just have this little spice tracks that you add. So again, create a new audio channel, put a big giant effect on it, and splice little bits and pieces of your piece all the way into it. We're going to look at dirty channels next, but this breakdown I'll play for you. Still working on it, but whatever. I've got a full-blown series of effects in here on this breakdown. I'm not going to play them at first, but I'll play them after, so you can hear the difference with an effects channel and without. Okay, so here's my here's my breakdown coming into it. Okay, and now let's hear with my effects track. I'll just show you what I've done. I just take various little bits of shortwave audio, data samples, just little bits. Okay, and now listen to this transition. Okay, not quite finished in there, but without it doesn't sound quite the same. And with it. And you can see that I just have the kitchen sink in here. Probably, now that I listen to it, too much, but check it, effects only. Okay, so everything in there. And again, there are places where I take the same note and throw them across all four effects, the two big echoes and the two destroyers. Okay, creating a sense of space and depth. Next, we're going to do grit and grime.